Oh my God. I just come on and I already had somebody saying, Sister, how you gonna be late on your own live stream? Y'all gonna get to know me. We like family. Y'all gonna be like, you know what? Shonna comes wherever she wants to come. And it's not done on purpose. I had no idea that YouTube has this thing in waiting. So, I'm in the bathroom getting dolled though, because I am a lady doing whatever I have to do before I come on live. And I had no idea that YouTube have you guys waiting for me. What a terrible thing. But I am here. And we're going to have a great late night conversation. So thank you guys so much for waiting for me. I appreciate that. It's not done on purpose. From now on, I won't go ahead and put all my information in on YouTube and then go handle my business because I had no idea that YouTube notifies you guys about what I'm doing. Nosy little YouTube. But going forward, I won't do that because I want to have you guys later. I'm not that rude. I'm just rude to my family members. I'm always late. Yes, the B1 family, I am here. We're going to have more of a calm conversation. I am still upset and angry, but not that angry. I'm in my mind right now. I got a lot of thoughts. I want you guys to go ahead and share your thoughts with me as well. But we're going to have this little session today so we can all be on the same team. I'm not sharing this to Facebook. If Facebook wants to know, they got to come on over. Maybe I'll go ahead and let them know that I am on. However, I'm not live on Facebook, so it's just me and my YouTube family. So that's not a bad thing. I just want you guys to know that I've gotten all the emails and messages to my phone regarding the arrests that were made, and I think that is a okay thing. But I'm not trying to be a bitter Betty or anything like that. But I don't celebrate these kind of things. I don't celebrate these things until we get a conviction. So I'm one of those kind of people that I hold off on all my celebrations because America has taught me all too well that an arrest don't mean anything when it comes to our justice, when it comes to things happening how we need it to happen so that we can feel just. It doesn't mean anything. And I have a different way of thinking when it comes to what we should be doing versus what we should not be doing. So I know some of you guys are all excited about your celebration of this arrest, and I'm not going to take that away from you. I say go ahead and celebrate if you want to. But there's a lot of people that are like me, and we're not celebrating just yet. And it doesn't mean that you guys got to be like us and do as we do, because everyone has their own individuality, and I applaud that. And everybody has their own belief system. I applaud that. Everybody has their own faith. I applaud that. People have different reasons why they do different things, and that's all cool. But what I'm saying to you is we're going to have a way of listening to each other and thinking of things in a different way, and examining other people's opinions so that we can either cross-reference them against ours, enlighten ourselves about things that we do not know, or we can have a meaningful discourse, a conversation where things are not being communicated correctly. So I want to say that this is all going to be my opinion tonight on what's going on. But I am, as always, going to leave you guys with some tips that I'm going to really need you guys to really start doing. Right. So we're on a mission. We have to control the narrative. And I've been doing a little bit of research, and my research is done a little bit differently tonight about this case. See, many people, we're just reading what the blogs are putting out there. We're reading what mass media is putting out there. We're reading what the popular channels are putting out there, including popular Black-owned channels, right? So we have to be very careful about that, because what's happening is what these people are contributors to different online media sites. What they do is they all pull information from the same sources. Right? They're pulling information from the same sources, whether they're a Black site or a white site. They're pulling information from the same sources. And what really disturbs me about our own people when they do stuff like that is we further the narrative of the dominant population, and that bothers me. That bothers me. So what I did tonight instead is not that anything I'm going to share with you guys is going to be any differently than what you probably have been reading, but I just dug around a little bit more because I go on forums that are with people, residents from Georgia, and I want to see what they are saying. See, while everyone else is reading the mainstream media, I'm reading what the community members are saying. I want to see the information that they know in their town that's coming about, that is making it to media in some form, but it may not be in the raw form. You get what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about that tonight. So as I go ahead and get prepared to have this conversation, I already shared the video on Facebook. I want you, brothers and sisters, to share the video as well. Let the people know that we are out here because we're having a meaningful conversation, not because we want to be entertained, but because we want to know what we can do. And that is the question that many people ask all the time. What can I do? Because we're all not in Georgia. I'm not in Georgia, but there are plenty of things that we can do. And since I know there are those of us among us, not us because we're critical thinkers here, but we know we have some people that just stop by and visit the site because they're nosy damn people. So for the nosy damn people, let's put your skills to use tonight so y'all can feel like you guys are contributing to a greater cause as well. And I'm gonna need y'all to be nosy, not nosy on this channel per se, but I'm gonna need you guys to go ahead and be nosy tonight when I give you the information that I need you to do. I need you to go dig up some information on some names I'm gonna give you tonight. And then since you're so nosy, bring it back to us all. You can go ahead and email me at Ask Dr. Shonna. Ask Dr. Shonna at gmail.com with all your nosy digging that you have been doing. Get some information out there back to me. Send me some pictures, some articles, send me some scoop so I can go ahead and share with anybody else. I want the nosy people to have a role tonight as well. Right? Y'all understand what I'm saying? To my moderators, y'all know as always what I say is if they have a meaningful opinion, we're going to let the people in the audience state their opinion. Is when they start getting rude, belligerent, a distraction, and outright disrespectful, we block, ban, and delete them. It's just as simple as that. I don't need everyone to agree with me. I like people to have their opinions, but what you're not going to do is distract our community here. That's what you're not going to do. So let's go ahead and go over the 3 things I'm going to run down with you guys. And then we're going to talk about some people that I have put in the description of this video. So if you have not read the beginning of the description of the video, go ahead because it's going to be some key factors I want you guys to really pay attention to. And all my nosy people that like to dig up people's social media accounts, you're going to have a job to do tonight. It's going to be free because since you like to dig on people's social media sites anyway, I'm going to give you a voluntary position, but it's going to, at least you're going to be doing some good for our community. So that's a great thing. So here's the 3 things I'm going to touch on. I'm going to touch on the card carrying Klan members. Yes, I said it. The card carrying Klan members. We're going to touch on that tonight. We're going to touch on the law enforcement officers' Bill of Rights. So y'all need to be taking this down. Y'all need to be writing and taking notes. The law enforcement officer Bill of Rights. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the role of police chiefs and the autonomy that they do have and why that matters in this case. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to also go down the list when it comes to the fact that the state of Georgia does not have a hate crime law on their records and why that matters in this case. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Bryan Williams and why he needs to be arrested as well. So we're going to talk about who Bryan Williams is, because I know some of y'all may or may not know who Bryan Williams is, but he needs to be arrested as well. And we're going to talk about the Brunswick attorney, Alan Tucker, I believe his last name is Alan Tucker. He is the person who actually released the video to a radio station. Oh, yes, baby. We are going to talk about the card carrying Klan members. Absolutely. Yes, somebody put it out there. The race analyst. I love it. That's right. You already know that's how I was spelling it too, right? Card carrying Klan members. So there's certain things I cannot say. So y'all got to use your imagination, like race analysis. Dr. Race Analysis used her imagination of what I was saying, because, you know, if I say certain things, YouTube is going to block me. So that's why my videos has not been reaching as many people as it has been in the past, because I get notified about not meeting community standards, just to be honest, even though y'all know I'm a nice person. I talk about nice things, but YouTube doesn't seem to think so. So let's talk about the card carrying Klan members. Y'all know who the card carrying Klan members are. Why is that important in this case? You see, I want all my nosy social media people that like to dig through people's pages. I need y'all to go and comb the pages of every name that is cited in the media as it pertains to this case. Every name that is cited. I need y'all to know about who this person, who the McMichaels know, who they used to work with, what kind of charges that they may have had, what kind of incidents that they may have had in their past. I need to know all of that because you see, one thing we don't seem to understand about the card carrying Klan members, what we don't seem to understand is that their organization has never disappeared. It has never gone away. And for some reason, some people in our community, and y'all know what I'm talking about when I say our community. Y'all gotta just stay with me today. I gotta be on code because my videos are getting blocked. So I gotta be on code. But y'all just gotta, y'all gotta just go with the flow. And if somebody doesn't get it, because I understand that some people in our community may not understand some of the code words we use because they've been off code for so damn long. I'm gonna need y'all, if they ask it in the chat member, y'all can just go ahead and explain what I'm talking about if they ask it in the chat member, because I can't just say it on here just to let you know, because we need this video to reach people. That's why. So I'm trying to respect. I'm already in violation of it, and I really don't care. But I'm trying to do my best at respecting the community standards so we can get the message out. But what y'all need to know about the card carrying Klan members is that their organization has never disappeared. So all the stuff that we are seeing, this is nothing new. I'm not telling you guys anything new. What we are seeing is actually their organization in play. And you have to listen for the code words and the code language that is used. For example, I went into one of the forums about one of the members of the card carrying Klan who was involved in the shooting, the father, that is, who was an ex-law enforcement officer. He was an ex-investigator from the district attorney's office. He's a card carrying Klan member. I would have to say that. And these organizations out there that is saying that they in their rights, they were acting by the law, they're good Christian citizens, and what they are under, the scrutiny that they're under is not right, and God is going to reveal their innocence. They're good Christians. So when I see stuff like that, I always see Black people. Oh God, I said the B word. There you go. See, I can't censor my mouth. I just really can't. I try, but I really can't censor my mouth. But nonetheless, those of us who identify in the melanin community, we tend to get so upset about when we see things like this. When somebody goes out there and they say that they're good Christian men, we get so upset and we go into our Christian values and our Christian belief systems that has been given to us, right? Passed down through slavery, chattel slavery, really has been given to us. And we tend to have amnesia. We sort of forget where our thoughts have come from, where our values have come from, where our beliefs have come from. And we sort of forget that we were not intended to have the same rights as others, right? So we tend to think that this whole Christianity thing is all inclusive. And when we hear people saying that these men who murdered our beloved Ahmaud Arbery, when we hear them say that they're good Christian men, some people in our community who identify as melanated, we start to get angry and we say that they're not Christians. Oh my gosh, I'm about to preach. Let me just calm down for a second because I already know how some people in this community is going to be. And I got to give you guys the disclaimer that some feelings are going to get hurt, but it's not with intention. And the reason why some feelings are going to get hurt because some people are just emotional people and they don't like to be critical thinkers. They like to look at themselves as critical thinkers, but when someone challenges their belief system, instead of saying, let me examine that for a minute, let me unpack that, let me unpeel it, let me make sense of it, they get defensive and they start shooting back. So that's going to happen tonight. That's going to happen tonight because we cannot ignore what is true and what is in the fabric of this country. We cannot ignore it. So when it comes to the card carrying Klan members, what we need to understand is they too have always identified as Christian way before any of us in the melanated community identify as Christian. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? See, I got to turn my chair around because y'all not getting it. Y'all not getting it. Some of y'all just ain't getting it because I know y'all getting it in your feelings. But there's a lot of organizations out there right now that is supporting the McMichaels. They are donating thousands of dollars to their defense. See, you got to understand how code works. They're donating thousands of dollars into these people's defense. They have all these little groups that are closed groups on social media sites that they have developed, and they're using words like Christian organization and stuff like that. You see, we get so upset and we want to fight back and say they're not Christians. No, baby, they are. See, the card carrying Klan members have always identified as Christian, way before you have. They have always identified as Christian. You see, the basis of who they are. The basis of who they are was built on their so-called Christian tenements. And see, we come along, we the new babies to Christianity. If you want to get real, if you really want to get funky with it, we're the new babies to their religion that they made up. And we get so in our feelings that when we see the card carrying Klan members using the word as Christian, we say that they're not Christian. No, I got news flash for you. They are. They are. See, the difference is you are not. You just believe that you are. See, that's the cognitive dissonance that goes on in our community. We don't want to sit back and make sense of it all. We don't want to really see it for what it is because it makes us feel bad. And anytime we feel bad, we want to ignore it. We want to distance ourselves from stuff that is opposite to our belief system. That's what cognitive dissonance is. We move ourselves away from it because if we have to face it, that might mean that we might uncover that what we believe is not true. And if what we believe is not true, then that means we have to go about doing things differently. Thank you for that donation, T. James says, yes, you know who, the WS that recorded it needs and will be charged. I promise you, my family. You know, we talking about charging people and arresting people, and that's good. But what I want to see is more than them getting arrested. I like, but I'm gonna shut my mouth up because I don't know why they're still breathing. I really don't know. This is a sidebar. Let me go off track for a second. I'm gonna come back. I don't know why they're still breathing because members of the melanated community don't have no problem acting big and bad, busting off shots, and all this other stuff that we do. But why is this issue right here a problem for us? Like, why do we not handle business? I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, anyway, that's another conversation. Let me go back to the card carrying Klan members, because that's a whole nother conversation. And I don't want to be in trouble with the law enforcement, right? Them stalking me, burning down my house. They're probably already about to do that. But nonetheless, I just don't know why they're still alive. I mean, I look at all these cases and I just don't know why does, nonetheless. So let's go back on to the card carrying Klan members. So they have all these new organizations that are out there helping these fellas who are involved in this murder of Ahmaud Arbery, and they're identifying as Christian. So what I was communicating to you guys is that, see, when you see the words like Christian organization, when you see the words like Christian brothers, when you see those kind of words, and they're with a bunch of people who are supporting things that melanated Christian people believe is not Christian-like. I mean, don't you think it's funny? It's really funny. It's not Christian-like, but those are the same people that gave you your religion, but you're saying that's not Christian-like? Okay, whatever. But when you see these people come up, we get so angry about the stuff that don't matter. We're angry that they're using the word Christian. That's what we're angry about. We're angry that they're calling themselves Christian, and we don't want them to call themselves Christian because we're saying that that's not Christ-like. And we don't realize that when they use the word like Christian, you got to understand who they're speaking to. See, they're not speaking to your behind. We always want to include ourselves in the mess of these people. We always like to include ourselves in it. We love the narratives that they give us. We love the names that they give us. We love everything about them. We always want to include ourselves in their stuff. And we get mad over the stupidest things. You're not a Christian. No, by golly, they are. You missing the point. You missing the point. Just like they gave you your language. When you came over here, you did not speak English. You did not speak English. They taught you everything you know. The only thing you don't seem to get on board, that's some of us, that is not all of us, but some of the things that we don't seem to get on board with is being able to decipher their code language. See, when they say Christian brothers, they're really talking about their organization, the card carrying Klan members. They're only talking about their organization. So we have to be able to wake up and understand the language that they are communicating. So when they put their little call out and they put the word Christian on it, the right people are going to show up. And they're going to show up overnight, something that we have not proven to be able to do. They show up overnight because their membership calls for them to do that. Not only do they show up overnight, they show up overnight with a checkbook. With a checkbook. So what am I saying right now? What I'm saying to you, brothers and sisters, right now is I need for some of my social media investigators, because I haven't gone to search because I've been doing research on laws. I've been doing research on things that's happening. So I can't do everything and I shouldn't have to. If we're really a part of the community, we do things collectively, right? So I need for you guys to find me, and I'm not being funny. I'm not being facetious. I know some of y'all know I got a little personality. People that know me personal, I'll make a joke out of everything. I have a whole room cracking up, but y'all I mean business. When the shit hit the fan, you know I'm the person you can trust because I'm blowing the whole shit up with a smile and a skirt and some heels. Meanwhile, bodies will be dropping, right? So what I need y'all to know is that I need y'all to all get on board. So, and I'm not being funny. I need y'all to find for me a Black organization that is raising money for the attorneys for Ahmaud Arbery. I'll wait. Because maybe some of y'all know right now. And I'm not being funny when I say I'll wait. This is not a comedic type of statement saying I'll wait. I'm not being funny. I'm not Cat Williams up in this piece, but I'll wait. Because maybe y'all already know a Black organization that is raising the legal fees to help with this case, who are raising money to be able to pay investigators, who are raising money to be able to pay the attorney, to raise money to be able to pay paralegal, pay for expenses, pay for relocation if anything like that happens, pay to make sure Ahmaud Arbery's record stays clean and that, the card carrying Klan members don't mess it up. We need to know who is out there, right? So I see somebody's giving me, I think this might be, no, that's not a link. It isn't. See, somebody's saying, I think it is S. Lee Merritt. S. Lee Merritt is the attorney. What I'm asking for is what organization of us have come together to raise the funds that are necessary to make sure this gets the right amount of attention. Because if we depend on the so-called just us system to do the investigation and make sure they uncover the facts correctly, we depend on that by just sitting back. We already know that things are going to be redacted, retracted. We already know that things are not going to be presented as they should be. See, Rich Dees is saying Shaun King is the go-to. Shaun King is the go-to for you. So people who are like me, Rich, we know that Shaun King is not the go-to. We just get information from what he posts, but he will not be the go-to, in my opinion. So if y'all give your money to Shaun King, who shakes hands with, let me shut up. But nonetheless, no, not Sean King, with all due respect. So I'm looking. Here's somebody else is saying, Sheer Thomas is saying, it should be the NAACP, but they too busy with the Brown Coalition. Okay, good. Yes, that's right. I'm on point with you. It should be, but it's not. It should be, but it's not. So no one is really giving me. That's right, Andrea. She said no to Sean King. You're absolutely right. We can get the information. See, but see, globally black, you're not really saying anything. You're saying Tariq, Jason Black, Professor Black, True. They just push out information. What I'm asking is for an organization, a legitimate organization that are collecting funds in order for it to be used to build up the case against the McMichaels. That's what I'm asking for. And the reason why that's important is because when you have the card carrying Klan members, they are already popping up all over the place. If you do not believe me, go ahead to Facebook and Google Christian organization, Travis McMichael. Just Google those names and you're going to see how many of these people already have hundreds of thousands of members in the group donating money. So what I'm saying is, that's right, Lachey. She said no one is doing it, point blank, period. I know. But what I'm saying is the reason why we have to start thinking this way, instead of us getting all in our emotions that they're using the word Christian to recruit people to come into their closed group on social media for the purpose of getting money out of them to build up this guy's fund. The reason why they're using that word, we're getting so upset about the word Christian, but that's a call. That's like a little mating call. That's like a cat call. They're putting it out there to let you know if you are part of the card carrying Klan members, you need to come through. Come on through with your checkbook and your wallet. Let's make it do what it do. That's the language that they're using. But see, we have to get ourselves out of the place when we're so emotional over words. We get so upset when we hear certain words like Christian. We want to fight against the word Christian, and we don't want to analyze what is really happening here. So I see that YouTube is slowing down my channel. I'm slowing down. I'm freezing. So that means that people are reporting me, as always. But it is what it is. I just need y'all to stay on point. Stay on point. So let's go on to the next topic. So that's for all the people that like to dig on social media. That is your job. That is your task for tonight. I need y'all to send me some legitimate Black organizations that are collecting funds to make sure the family has. And I'm not just talking about a GoFundMe. That does not count. I'm not talking about GoFundMe accounts. I want to see what organization is organizing for us. I'm not talking about Sean King and his white liberals that are doing what they're doing. Like, I'm not talking about that whatsoever. I don't have no smoke with them. I just don't trust it. I don't trust it as far as I can throw it. So I don't have no smoke, but I'm not going to go ahead and plug it or promote it when there's too many people that look kind of funny to me. So I'm not going to go ahead and plug that, just to be honest with you. Sheer Thomas is saying, did you see Black faces in the picture for the Facebook group? No Black faces. I didn't see Black faces. They're white faces as clear as day. Right? So let's go on to the next conversation that we need to have. We need to understand why, besides living in the system that we live in, a system of racism, white supremacy, besides that, we already know that played a part in why this guy, the main person, the dad, right? The dad, McMichael, the father, why he wasn't arrested and why this case didn't go anywhere previously. So you got to understand something called Law Enforcement Bill of Rights. Y'all need to write that down, because I want y'all to really start understanding how these things work. Stop being so damn emotional. We need to sit our asses down long enough to Google and to pay attention to things, to study, to show ourselves approved, so we can know the system that we are living in, and so we can know how to move on that chessboard. See, some of us, we just going about and we just trusting people that have nice personalities and big ass mouths with big ass followers, and that's all we trusting on. We get all our information from those sources, but they're not really teaching you anything. They ain't teaching you anything that's going to save your goddamn life, right? So we got to really understand these things. What's up, Ramsey? Look at my brother Ramsey. How you doing? He said the doc is talking about a team like what Johnny Conquering had, a team to dig up all the dirt on. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Ramsey. There you go. See, Ramsey know. I'm telling you, the people that know me, y'all know how I move. Ramsey is saying exactly that. I couldn't have said it better. I'm talking about a team that is going to dig up dirt on the people we need dirt digged up on, right? So right now, some of y'all are who social media spies and social media investigators. Y'all like to dig up dirt on people in our community all the time. Y'all like to make up videos about people in our community all the time. You like to disrespect people in our community all the time by bringing their children into social media light, by bringing their family members into social media light, just because you don't like the one individual. Y'all do it to my girl Michi X all the time. Y'all talk about her son all the time, like that's secret information, and that information is secret. But since y'all like to dig so much, this is what y'all should be digging for. Use your talent and your skills wisely. So let's go on to the Law Enforcement Bill of Rights. So the Law Enforcement Bill of Rights, you got to understand what that is. So let me just read what it is, and then I'm going to tell you why it applies to this case. The Law Enforcement Bill of Rights is intended to protect American law enforcement personnel from investigation. Y'all first heard that, right? Because I'm going to say this in small little chunks because I need people to hear it. The Law Enforcement Bill of Rights is intended to protect American law enforcement officers from investigation, right? And prosecution arising from conduct during official performance of their duties, and provides them with privilege based on due process, additional to those normally provided to other citizens. So basically what what I'm saying to you with the Law Enforcement Officer Bill of Rights, what it's saying is, when you are considered a law enforcement officer, a peace officer, anything in that realm, when you are there, you are protected against investigation, right? You are protected against investigation. Not that certain investigations can happen, they do, but not the investigations that we need to happen to remove people from their positions, to arrest people, to lock them up, all this other stuff. In addition to that, in addition to any investigation that happens, they sort of have like a special due process. They have more rights, more privilege than you and I would have in our due process if we come under investigation. So they have a certain level of protection and privilege that keeps them from investigations that will land them in jail. Not that they don't undergo these things, but it's a certain manner in how these things must happen. Thank you so much for the donation, Geek Moms. I appreciate that. So it also says that the Law Enforcement Bill of Rights make it impossible, underline the word impossible, make it impossible to discipline or remove bad officers. So that's like a criticism of this Bill of Rights, because there's so much red tape, so much loopholes that you have to go through. So it makes it somewhat impossible for bad officers, or rogue officers is what we like to call them, rogue officers, to get removed, including but not limited after they have been convicted of felonies in the courts. So what it's saying is, for example, what's that officer that, since y'all was talking about Sean King, what's his name? Y'all, he posted about this officer maybe like a week or so ago, where he already had numerous civil lawsuits that was filed against him. I think his last name was Hernandez or something like that. Fernandez, something like that. He had numerous civil lawsuits filed against him, and he was still employed, still had his badge, still had his gun. He was still arresting people. Garcia, that's right, still beating up people. He was still doing everything that he was doing, because you have to understand that these officers are protected. So when you think about the Law Enforcement Bill of Rights, you got to think about it like the Patient Bill of Rights or the Client Bill of Rights. When you go into the hospital, you see the Patient Bill of Rights on the wall, and they will tell you what your rights are as a patient. You have the right to confidentiality. You have a right to get a copy of your records. You have a right to assign your health by proxy. You have a right to refuse services that you don't want. It's all these rights that you have. The same is true for law enforcement officers. They have their rights as well, and their rights protect them when they're under investigation, protects them from investigation, and it protects their position, protects their job, protects their pension. Oh, baby. So why does it matter in this case? Oh, let me give you one more point of the Law Enforcement Officers Bill of Rights. One more point. It also prevents the formation. This is what's key. I need to really listen. The Bill of Rights, the Law Enforcement Officers Bill of Rights, also prevents the forming of civilian review boards that give civilians oversight over police actions. So, most of the times when you have these government agencies like the Department of Education per se, they'll have a board that sits over the Department of Education and is made up of different people, including some people from the community, civilians that sit on the board because they oversee the conduct and the behavior of the school district, right? Basically what it's saying that, and that a lot of organizations, government, private, it doesn't matter, public, a lot of organizations have boards that sit over it, right? But what they're saying is the Law Enforcement Bill of Rights, it prevents them from having a civilian review board judging their actions. So these people are pretty much autonomous. They pretty much can do whatever the hell they want to do. So why does it matter in this case? You got to understand that the father, McMichael, the father, that's right, Julie. Julie's saying untouchable. You absolutely right. The father is ex-law enforcement. And see, just because you are retired, and I know there's people right here, I know there's people in this organization right now that are probably law enforcement. If I'm lying, tell me so. If not, you better read your handbook because, baby, I can give you citations about you don't even have to believe me about the Law Enforcement Bill of Rights. Go ahead and look it up. Go ahead and Google it. Learn a little something. I'm saying sit down. Since we want to be on social media all day, we can sit. Obviously, we've proven that we can sit down long enough, right? Why don't we make use of that time, sit down and learn something new? Go ahead and Google it so you can understand how this matters. It matters in this case because just because somebody is retired, you don't really lose your clout. It's like once you are a part of that blue wall, once you are in that system, that fraternal order is what they call them, right? Fraternal Order of Police, FOP, Fraternal Order of Police. You know, the people that call you and they tell you that they would like your donation to the Fraternal Order of Police. Do you want to give any donation with help with the police department and to get them, vests and outfits, and they call you and they annoy you on the phone? That's what they are, right? They're fraternal order. So basically, once you're a part of this fraternal order, you're there forever. You're a part of the organization forever. So they're going to protect their own. They're going to protect their own. And even though he's no longer active, this whole Law Enforcement Bill of Rights had us play with that. They decided not to arrest this guy. Right? They decided not to arrest this guy because they're all into it. Once you get a call and you know who's involved, that's right. That's right, Deandra. Deandra saying they're a legalized gang. When I was in high school, I wrote a paper about that. And I wrote a paper about calling them a legalized gang. I've always been radical. This ain't nothing new. I've always been like this. This is why my ex-husband left me. But nonetheless, I listen. You can't get a fast one over me. You just really can't get a fast one over me. You just really can't. Because I'm a researcher to the T, so I get to the bottom of it, and then we can argue. That's how I move. But nonetheless, they are a legalized gang. And he was a part of their gang member. He was a part of the card carrying Klan members, right? So he was a part of that. That's how I listen. Ain't nobody gonna come out and say, yes, I'm a part of the card carrying Klan members. No one's gonna come out to say that, but you can tell from the way they move. You can tell how they protect their own. When one of their own is in trouble, they put the call out. Once the call get out, all of their members, both female and male, young and old, they all come together and they make it do what it do. Didn't we see that in the George Zimmerman situation? The minute he put the call out, they raised how much money for that man in how many hours? Not days, in how many hours? Because they all part of it. They're all a part of it. And just because you don't see their flashy uniforms that they used to wear back in the day, don't mean they ain't there. We know that. This is not nothing I'm making up. There's been plenty of research that has uncovered this to be facts. You can do your research for yourself, right? So we got to understand that this guy, they already was operating that way. They was already operating from the mindset that he's untouchable. And if it wasn't for this video going viral, we would have had their word with their narrative against a dead man who cannot speak. So we got to understand that the minute these kind of things happen, family, we got to be up on it. We got to jump on it white on rice. It doesn't matter. And what makes me annoyed and upset, not that I'm mad at anybody in our community, because I clearly am not, but what makes me annoyed is because people make it seem like the fight didn't happen until the video went viral. And that could not be further from the truth. You have to understand the county that this murder occurred in. You have to understand a population of about 17,000 people, 27% of them are Black. So you have to understand that in our community, when things like this go on, yeah, we're going to do a prayer vigil. We're going to light a candlelight vigil. We're going to go to church and we're going to cry. We're going to hug each other, right? But the radical people, if it's only 27%, out of that 27%, how many people are radical? How many people who are not afraid to go up against them? See, you got to understand, when you 27% in a town that's in Georgia, where the state of Georgia has no hate crime laws on the record. You can look this up. Don't believe me? That's why it's not being charged as a hate crime, family. See, I saw some people, they're so angry online, and I'm reading what they're writing. I'm like, do any of us sit back to just research before we get out here and we start saying all types of things because we angry? Do we ever sit back and say, I wonder why they're not being charged with a hate crime? See, there are 4 states that have no hate crime laws on their book: Georgia, Wyoming, Arkansas, and South Carolina. Do I need to say it again? I will. Georgia, Wyoming, Arkansas, and South Carolina. There are no hate crime laws on the book. So you can't charge them with a hate crime. And that's what's dangerous. See, that's the difference between federal involvement and local involvement, right? It's just dangerous. It's dangerous. So we got to understand that when all of this stuff happened, they knew what they were doing. See, they bought, February was how many months ago? Almost 3 months ago, almost 90 days. They bought themselves almost 3 months, 90 days. A lot can get covered up in 90 days. And it doesn't mean that the people in Georgia, the Black people, the two Black people in Georgia, and I'm being facetious, but it doesn't mean that the Black people in Georgia wasn't trying to fight this. They were trying to fight that. And that's why we need to have our organization. So when something like this happens, when there is a murder by some rogue police officer or some civilian that used to be a cop or want to be a cop, or when we have laws in states that have stand your ground and all these other crazy loophole bogus defense laws on the record, we have to be organized ahead of time. See, we should have been prepared in 2012 when our brother Trayvon Martin was taken. We should have been prepared there, right? Because the people in Georgia, in this little town with 27% of them are Black, I'm sure they were trying to get the information out there, but they were being muffled. They were being muffled. So we would have had our own people who was jumping on it the minute it happened, and we got our funds up and we started to hire investigators to go out to dig. We would already saw that this guy not only was an ex-officer and an ex-investigator in the DA's office, but we would have saw all his relationship and ties to everybody else. We would have saw how they was all part of the card-carrying Klan. Teresa Perkins is saying, I'm from Georgia, about an hour from the incident, and didn't know anything until the video came out. I believe you, Teresa, and it was like that on purpose. It was done that way on purpose. And so when you have these helpless families that they're not waiting for their son or daughter to be killed. It's not like they're saying like, this is going to be the day I'm going to have to hit that button and go. They don't know where to go because we're not organized. They don't really know who to call because we're not organized. They don't know what to do. So they're fighting directly with the police department. And what we have to always keep in the forefront, not the back of our minds, but the forefront of our minds, what we always have to keep there is that as we walk through those doors of the police department, we have to assume we have to assume that we're talking to a member of the card-carrying Klan. Right? We got to automatically assume that. I'm glad you asked that question. I'm getting to that right now, Deneen Grant. Deneen Grant asked, how did the video get out? So y'all know, Deneen, I was already on it. Y'all know I started doing my research. So let's go on to the video, because I already told y'all that. I already told y'all about the Law Enforcement Bill of Rights, why this happens. We have to know that. I already told you about the card-carrying Klan members. So now let's get on to this video and why y'all need to know these names. So as the story goes, and I got majority of my story from forums in Georgia, different forums. You know, when things like this happen, when it's race, even though white people like to talk like they don't like to talk about race, but when something like this that's race related happen, they sing like canaries. You just got to be quiet. You just can't get in your feelings. You can't get angry. You can't want to respond to what they're saying in their forums. You just got to watch what they say. And I'm not saying all of them are like, yay for the McMichaels. There are people out there that's like, these jokers need to be brought down. There are people out there like that, but whatever, right? You can talk about it on social media all you want. If you're not doing anything about it, you don't get clout with me. Right? I had a little conversation with somebody in my Facebook page had responded, and he was mad at one of my people in my audience and said, white people must be having a ball. They must be celebrating about this, right? So he got offended, and it was a white guy, and he said, because I told you they follow me, but they're in silent. They like to see what Dr. Shonna is doing, but they don't want to say nothing, because I guess they know that if you get kind of stupid, I'm the kind of person, I'm disrespectful on my Facebook page. I'll screenshot your stuff and I'll put you on blast. I'll put your whole profile on blast when you annoy the hell out of me. I don't do it all the time, but I'm known for doing petty stuff like that. Yes, I do wear a platinum petty crown from now to now, because, you know, sometimes people got to be taught a lesson. You want to be Facebook, so I'm going to show you how gangsta I am. But nonetheless, what he said was, not all white people think this should happen. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to talk about this in my next video. It ain't going to be tonight, but just to give you a little highlight. It doesn't matter what you say and what you think. Because if you're quiet, if you're silent, you are complicit. If you are not doing anything among your people, if you're not fighting against your people, if you're not sharing these kind of videos on your platform so your people can get the message, if you're not doing videos to communicate to your people, if you're not bringing up the conversation with your people and correcting them when they're wrong, when you see an injustice happen, if you're not standing up for your people, standing up against your people and their bad behaviors, then you're complicit. So I don't care how much on the outside you want to yell ally. That's why the other day when I did the video, I said, you know, so-called allies. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I don't care what you tell me you are behind closed doors. If I don't see that in your walk of life, you're not an ally. It's just as simple as that. You got to demonstrate it in your walk of life. We can all be cordial with each other. We can all be professional, and we can all be colleagues, but we ain't friends. It's just as simple as that, right? So we got to be mindful of that. So the question was asked is, how did the video get out? I'm about to get on out of here, y'all. Is this 48 minutes into this? You know, there's an hour show. I try to be an hour, so I'm gonna get out there. So the story that I get from the forum. So y'all gotta look up this guy, Bryan Williams. Y'all need to know who this guy is. So all my social media investigators that like to dig up dirt on the Black community, do me a favor and dig up dirt on this community. Go ahead and research Bryan Williams, and he spells his Bryan Bryan. He's out of the Brunswick, Georgia area as well. He was one of the guys that was with the McMichaels, and he has not been arrested yet. So as the story goes, he was helping the McMichaels to corner off Ahmaud Arbery. That's what he was helping to do. And in that process, he was videotaping. And he cut off Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmaud turns around, he runs back the opposite direction to where the McMichaels were. So when you see the video, you see the guy with the camera, who is Bryan Williams. You see the guy with the camera, and he's driving the same direction Arbery is running, right? The same direction he's running. So if he's driving north, Arbery is running north. I don't know the direction that he was running. I'm just giving you an example. And as Arbery is running north, he runs into that white pickup truck where they was already stopped to wait to get him, to wait for him. So he was not able to run the opposite direction to get away from Bryan Williams because Bryan Williams was also armed. So they trapped him. So just imagine how our brother felt. He was trapped. So what is going through our brother's mind at that moment? When you got a joker behind you with a gun, you got jokers in front of you with guns. What do you think is in his mind? He's already knowing, listen, I gotta fight for my life at this point. And that's what went down. So this joker, Bryan Williams, what he does is he goes to talk to an attorney in Brunswick, Georgia, named Alan Tucker. So I need for all of y'all who like to dig up people's information, since y'all so skilled at that, and dig up Alan Tucker as well. He's an attorney in Brunswick, Georgia. I need y'all to get the real deal. Y'all need to find some social media pages, comb all the way back. Stay up to 5 o'clock in the morning if you have to. Go all the way back to 2009 when Facebook was first open. Go all the way back and see what kind of pictures you can find on these jokers, so you can get evidence that they're all part of the card-carrying Klan. But nonetheless, Bryan Williams goes to Alan Tucker. See, they all in cahoots with each other to some sort. Now, Alan's trying to separate himself now, but that wasn't his narrative at the very beginning when everything was hush-hush under the pillow in the dark. It wasn't his narrative. So what he does is he goes to this Alan Tucker guy, and everybody in this town knows everybody. They all know each other. And initially in previous discussions over there in Georgia, in previous discussions, Alan Tucker was puffing his chest, initiating attorney-client privilege. So attorney-client privilege for who? Was he proclaiming to be the attorney for the McMichaels? Was he proclaiming to be the attorney for Bryan Williams? Who was he proclaiming to be the attorney for? Because initially that's what he was saying, but no retainer was ever filed or signed or whatever initiated for this Alan Tucker guy. And once that happened, once it became clear that he was none of their attorneys, he released the video to a radio station. So Alan Tucker, the attorney in Georgia, is the one that gave the radio station the video, not law enforcement, which probably, thank God, because they're all part of the card-carrying Klan, law enforcement probably would have destroyed the sucker. So he didn't give it to there, and the radio station uploaded it onto their website, and that's how it went viral. Right? So y'all following me? Okay. So nonetheless, somebody's saying Shonna with all caps. What's up, Jasmine? Why you scream my name like that, Jasmine? I owe you some money. Somebody get her attention. You got my attention, Jasmine. What's the matter? I can tell you some things. I'm a local in Glenn County. Ooh. So, Jasmine, you need to send me an email at askdrshonna@gmail.com. Askdrshonna@gmail.com. Tell me some things, Jasmine. Awesome. I'm glad y'all got my attention. I was like, why is she screaming my name like I owe her some money? So she knew me for some. I said, Jasmine, when you from high school, we had beef. Did you try to jump me and I beat you? And I'm just kidding. I'm just joking, Jasmine. Send me the information, Jasmine, and I'm going to read it over and get back to you on that. So nonetheless, I don't know about, that's right, Be Real 777. He said that lawyer is trying to cover his ass. I agree with you. That lawyer is trying to cover his ass. But nonetheless, the lawyer now is singing a different tune. Now the lawyer is saying, I lived in this county all of my life. I grew up here, and I released the video not to exonerate or convict the McMichaels or Mr. Williams. I did it because I wanted to address rumors, lies, and false narratives that were out there. I wanted them to be truthful. I wanted it to be transparent. because this is tearing our community apart, is what he said. So he never said the rumors that he was addressing. He never mentioned what the lies were that he was addressing. And he never talked about the narratives that he was addressing. He didn't say any of that. He just left it blanket and saying that it's tearing his community apart. But he never gave details about what he's communicating. So you got to ask yourself, why does attorney is now doing that? Now that everything is hitting the fan, what happened? What transpired that caused this attorney now to change his tone? Because at first he was talking about, I don't have to tell you anything. He was using some cuss words and everything, talking about client attorney privilege, all this stuff. Now all of a sudden he's singing a different tune. So I'm gonna need y'all. Of course, the lawyer is his friend Jasmine. That's a no-brainer right there. Absolutely, Jasmine is his friend. So I'm gonna need y'all to wake up. And what I say that is because I'm not saying, like I said to you guys at the beginning of this video, this is my opinion. This is my opinion. I do need y'all to do some digging so we can get to the bottom of this. But let me tell you what I think. I think they already had their plan all together. Releasing that video was not an accident, and it was not no good cause. I think they're all part of the card-carrying Klan, and it was not any good cause whatsoever. They already had their thoughts. You got to think about it. He's an attorney. He's an attorney. And the video that was released, it doesn't say that that was the beginning of the video. It doesn't say that that was the whole video. It doesn't show everything that was before there. So by the time that happens, I think they already edited the video. They already cut it down. They already destroyed all the evidence. And they just saved that little clip because he probably, as an attorney, he's probably seeing, if I'm on the defendant side of this, this is how I would defend this case. These are the things that I would say. There's no hate crime in Georgia. So you ain't got to worry about having that on you, right? So I think that he would already let them know these are the kind of moves that they could play. The prosecutors could say this, it could say, depending on how they get it. If they get it transferred out of this county, then I don't know how that's going to go. But so far, everything's good. Barbara's onto it, Dick is onto it, Rich is onto them, Peter's onto it, Billy is onto him, Bob is on. We all in the card carrying Klan, and we all know what's going to happen. So we all going to play ourselves closely. Just release this video, this portion of it, and stick to the narrative. Attorneys know what to say. Attorneys know what to say. There would be no reason. There would be no reason for Alan Tucker to release the video, making it seem like he was just being a good Samaritan. No, he wasn't. And if we believe that, we foolish. And this is why we have to have our own organization to be ahead of it. The minute they started getting their facts in order, we should have been having our facts in order. The minute they started to piece together things, we should have been piecing together things. Jasmine said he released the video because he thought it would prove self-defense. I'm sure. And I agree with you, Jasmine. I'm not in disagreement whatsoever. What I'm saying to the audience, Jasmine, is it's only a portion of the video that is released. And I think that was orchestrated. Right? So you can't give a snippet of a video and say for a fact that's self-defense. What happened before that? You know, as a therapist, what we always look at when we look to change behaviors, right? Whether I'm working with my couples to change their behavior or individuals in relationships to change behavior so they can get the ultimate results. We look at what we call ABC, and that's part of cognitive therapy. Cognitive behavior therapy is ABC, antecedent behavior consequence, right? So what came before the behavior? Before Williams was driving behind Arbery, and before the McMichaels stopped to block off Arbery, what happened? The only narrative we have is the false narrative that says that he was looking into a house that was under construction. A house under construction that's being built don't have no furniture in there, don't have no television in there, ain't nothing in there. It's under construction. It's being built. What was he going to steal? Copper piping? Right? But that's their narrative. So you got to understand, if Alan and all of them are all together, they're sitting down around the clock. Nobody is sleeping because they're coming up with the story. The guy used to be in law enforcement. This other guy is an attorney. You know, they're all in the same little card carrying clan. So you have to understand that they're going to have their story concocted, and they know what part of that video to cut off versus what part of that video to keep. Right? So we gotta also consider that. So Tiana's saying, Dr. Shonna, did you see the press conference this morning? The prosecutor sounded drunk. The prosecutor probably was drunk. Right? So I basically say, thank you, Dean. And Dina says, love the way Dr. Shonna dissects the situation. Thank you. But what I'm saying to you guys is we have to really look at all of that. So when I put in the video, I'm not celebrating. I'm not excited because I think that they also know to play with us. And too many of us, you know, we always like to say, God said to turn the other cheek. If you get slapped, turn the other cheek. How many times you going to do that? 77 times 7. Like, we love saying stuff like that. I'm not getting smacked in my cheek 77 times 7 times. I'm not doing nothing like that. You are not going to smack me. You get one. If you get one off, that's all you getting off. You understand what I'm trying to say? Unless you knock me out, that's all you getting off. I'm not one of those people to turn the other cheek and forgive and talk about, you know, the Lord said vengeance is mine. You know, like my grandmother. The Lord said vengeance is mine. Don't take no revenge. Just go ahead and let the Lord take care of it. You may not see it right away, but trust me, God Almighty, He gonna go. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna burn some sage. I'm gonna call on my ancestors. I'm gonna get it going, and I'm gonna make it do what it do, asking for protection while I'm in action. So we're not going to sit back and do all this other stuff, right? We ain't going to do all that other stuff. But my point is, I'm not celebrating. I'm not celebrating. People saying, well, it's a step in the right direction. I think it's a move on a chessboard. And I don't want to hurt any of y'all feelings and deflate your hope, because I talked about hope in the last video. Remember, I broke down the different levels of hope, right? And yes, it's philosophical thinking. So that's what us scholars do. A lot of us are philosophical in our thinking. But what I'm saying to you guys is we have to really understand what we're up against. We get excited over symbolism. And to arrest these people is a form of symbolism. They already had 90 days to play out their whole trial and jury. They already anticipated everything. Remember, they're attorneys, they're law enforcers, they're investigators. They already know. They already know. They are card carrying Klan members. They already know. So this is all symbolism. We get so excited over symbolism, and then we get angry when we get smacked in our face. Remember Amber Geiger? What did she get? 5 years? I bet you she'll be out next year. I bet you she'll be out next year. Now, was that justice? You're all like, oh, thank God she was found guilty. Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, God is good. Won't He do it? And then you see the judge hugging Amber. And you see Botham John's brother asking to give her a hug too. And everyone is hugging the murderer. And she's in her little fluffy little detainment right now, and she probably going to be out at the end of this year or the beginning of 2021. I bet your bottom dollar. Who want to bet me? This is not a game. This is symbolism, because they know how to shut us up. And then what happened? We all went silent, right? After that trial was over, we all went silent. It was a hot topic for like a week, and then we all went silent. We need to stop falling asleep. But when we out here and we doing these videos constantly telling about all these things, some people don't want to hear it. Some of y'all tired of hearing it. They don't want to share it because you don't want anybody on your network knowing what you listen to. You don't want to subscribe to the channel because you don't want anybody knowing what kind of channels you subscribe to, because you're all scared. You should be scared. You should be scared that your life is next. That's what you should be scared. I'm not telling you to live in fear. I'm telling you need to be living in reality. That's what I'm saying. Because we're getting excited over dumb stuff. This is all symbolism. They did George Zimmerman the same way. They arrested him after public attention came on it. But by then, he already had his whole story all lined up. And if y'all believe that there was no video, I think y'all sad and mistaken. Just because they didn't give us a video, release a video, all those people peeking through the goddamn blinds of their house, everybody, all those neighbors that was afraid to talk because they probably all part of the card carrying clan, they was afraid to speak as well. You're going to tell me out of all those people that was piercing through their windows, nobody had a video? See, they know how to do these goddamn things. Make no mistake. Make no mistake. This is not a game. This is not a game. So I say, hold your horses. Hi, Bernadette from Canada. How you doing, beloved? I say, hold your horses before y'all get excited. We need not to get excited. What we need to do is plan. So like I said at the very beginning of the video, hey, Derek, I see you saying Dr. Shonna with all the exclamation marks. You're trying to get my attention too. What's up, boo? Okay, I'm going to see if he's going to say something. I don't know. But anyways, I was saying, I need for y'all to hold your horses. Don't go getting excited. We got some work to do. We always have work to do, but I want to know how many of us can do it, right? And like all my Bible reading folks out there, you know what it says, the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. See, everyone likes to say their nice little famous lines from the Bible, but nobody really want to do the work. They don't really want to do the work. They just want to pray and light a candle. Somebody saying Dr. Shonna is Haitian. Miranda, with all due respect, I'm not going to be petty because I took my crown off. Because Miranda, if my crown was on, you would have got cursed out because Dr. Shonna is not Haitian. My husband is Haitian. If you want to ask a question, you can ask a question. You can say, Dr. Shonna, are you Haitian? And then I would tell you, but you like to make assumptions. You see what I mean? What we do, we lose focus. What does it? What if I was Haitian? What would it matter? What would it matter? You see how we do? We lose function. If I was Haitian and I'm always fighting for the rights of Black people and I'm always uplifting Black people and I'm not having kumbaya narratives, I'm not chasing butter biscuits, I'm not doing anything like that. What difference would it make if I'm up here promoting how we need to separate ourselves and have our own definition and go after our reparations? If I'm over here promoting all of that, and I am Haitian, what difference would it make? You see how we get distracted? You see? And the reason why I'm even giving this any attention, the reason why I'm even speaking to it is because I want you guys to see how we get distracted by things that don't matter. We want to talk about who's sleeping with who, right? Who's a bed wench? Who's doing this? We like to talk about stuff that don't matter, stuff that distracts us. And that's why we don't get no goddamn work done. That's why these jokers are making fun of us every damn day. That's why these jokers already got a plan in action and is already setting up their case for us to lose. That's why this always happens. That's why we're going to have another dead Black body with no justice. And if you think that Amber Geiger was justice, you're foolish because that's not justice. We have nothing but symbolism. She's probably eating lobster with melted butter right now. We have nothing but symbolism. And we get so excited about symbolism. That's why I got to come back on and talk about that Netflix garbage with Barack Obama's wife, Michelle. And no disrespect. I like the way she carried herself. I like the way she moved, but it is what it is. It's a whole bunch of symbolism. And I got to come back on and talk about that because that's what we do. They know exactly who we are and what we like. And that's why everything they push out there for us is all built on symbolism because they know that we're going to go for the symbolism because we don't really want to do the work. The work is painful. The work is painful. Rich D said, nah, somebody said you was African. He defended you and said you were Haitian. Well, here's the truth. We are all African. That's another ignorant statement right there. We are all African. We may not be an African from the continent citizen, but that's where we all have originated from. And even that word, I'm not saying put that word down on your paperwork. You could do it, call yourself whatever you want. Everyone that knows me knows that I identify as African. Right? So that is my descent. But again, it's still a distraction. That's not even the topic at hand. That's not even the topic at hand. But that's what we do. We like to try to figure out what Dr. Shonna is. What Dr. Shawn? Oh, is she African? Oh, I think she Asian. Oh, no, she ain't Haitian. She ADOS. Oh, no, I think she Jamaican. Oh, I think she Hispanic. She speaks Spanish. She must be Dominican. Like, that's what we do. Man, look. Thank you, Barbara. And Barbara said, what difference does it make? You speaking knowledge. I just, family, sometimes, not all of y'all, but sometimes I get drained. This is why I shut down. This is why everyone's like, yo, Dr. Shawn, to push more content out there. I get shut down. I get so shut down because this shit is exhausting. This shit is exhausting. I'm like, the fuck do we have? Peanuts for brains? Come on now. We at war. And we talking about stupid shit. We on war. They shooting at us. We talking about who got the new Jordans. It's like stupid stuff. That's when y'all see the hood come out of me, when I get like that. Y'all see the Bronx come out of me when I get like that. And you can start hearing my accent because we do stupid things. We do real stupid things, and it pisses me off. Bullets coming at your head, and you want to know where she get her Louis bag from. We do stupid things. Like, really? This is what we doing? Anyway, don't get excited, family. I'm done. I ain't got nothing else to say. That's right. Too much focus on the wrong thing. Focus, people. Focus, people. Oh, gosh. That's all I got. My point, my drive away, so I can just drive it home. My drive away for us, family, is we have to understand when we go into certain situations or we get caught up in certain situations, we always have to have the assumption, whether it's true or not, doesn't matter. If you have the assumption, you're going to carry yourself in a certain way. But if you have the assumption that the person you are dealing with is a member of the card carrying clan, you might move a little differently. You might carry yourself a little differently. You might be a little bit more aware. You might be a little bit more alert. Maybe you're not going to go places by yourself. Maybe you're going to go in pairs. Maybe if you live in a state where you can have open carry or concealed carry, maybe you're not going to go unarmed. Like, we have to understand that if we have in mind that we are going to meet a member of the card carrying clan, we have to move that way to protect ourselves against them at all times. We got to stop letting our guards down, shaking hands, letting people touch our heads, talking about we best of friends, having our kids all play together all safely and with the comfort, over at doing sleepovers with them at the middle of the night. We end up dead off the balcony saying we fell. Remember the sister that allegedly fell off the balcony? I'm saying. If we have that in mind, maybe we'll move a little differently. Now, I'm not saying everybody you going to shake hands with is a member of the card carrying clan, but what I'm saying to you is if you have that in mind, you might move a little differently. You might be a little bit more suspicious. Maybe you'll be acting like the investigator because trust and believe they are acting like an investigator all the time. Not some of the time, all the time. They're the most nosiest goddamn people I've ever met in my life. They will know everything about you if you move into one of their neighborhoods. They already know somebody that can run your plates on your car, know somebody that can pull the deed on your house to see who bought the house, know somebody who can get your mortgage information. None of your information is confidential or private because they always know somebody who knows somebody can get the information that they need so they can know who you are. But the problem is we don't know who they are and we're shaking hands and lillygaggling with them. That is the problem. I already told you my show was an hour. I'm 13 minutes over. I got to get the hell off this show right now. Yeah, somebody said a grown woman at a sleepover. Yeah, you don't remember that, Julie? Yes, a grown black woman at a sleepover and fell off the balcony and died and said that she had drugs in her system. She was the only one that happened to fall off the balcony and die. But nonetheless, I'm saying the other point we made was understanding why this case and other cases like it took too long to get light because of the law enforcement officer Bill of Rights. I told you guys to go ahead and research the law enforcement officer Bill of Rights so you can understand they have certain privileges and protection. And even though this guy was already retired, thank you for the donation, Kimberly Studios. Even though the guy was already retired, he's always going to be under that protection. He's always going to be under that umbrella. right? So we got to stop getting ourselves upset when we don't see certain things happening. When you have an understanding of why that's happening, then you can be better prepared on how to move. The minute it came out, God, unfortunately, the minute that Ahmaud Arbery's met his fate, you know, his untimely one at that, the minute that happened, and the minute that happened, we started getting those names, we should have started digging out information for who these people were. We started digging out who these people were. We should have started filing complaints. We should have started writing letters. We should have already started protesting. You know, just it should have been quicker. But you know how it happens. They all in cahoots with each other. Thank you for the donation, Tierra Nadera. So she asked me, did you hear about Sean Reed? Yes, I did. Murdered by cops, live on Facebook. The black cop said, looks like it would be a closed casket, homie. And Doug Lewis, who was killed by a white guy after a car accident. The Doug Lewis, I got to look up, but the Sean Dayton Reed, I do know about that case as well. I haven't spoken about it yet. My heart goes out to the brother. I want to get some more information before I speak out on anything. I want to know more information. But yes, I did hear about it. I have shared the information, and he's already on my radar. But those are my points I wanted to drive home with you guys. Everybody who likes to dig up people's lives on social media, put your skills to use and dig up their lives on these names that I gave you. That is Alan Tucker, Bryan Williams, and both the McMichaels. Dig up the names, because we need to start sharing that kind of information with our community. We need to start putting our narrative out there about who they are. We need to paint a picture about who they are and who they're connected to. So any name that they're connected to, we need to dig up information on them. As simple as that. I love you guys. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I am 16 minutes over. I do apologize, but you know I was late starting too. Got to give you a little something. But go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Share the video. It costs you nothing to hit the thumbs up, to like it. It costs you nothing to share the video. It costs you nothing to subscribe. It is going to cost you some time to do some research. But for those of us that like to dig, please dig. Send me all the information you have at askdrshonna@gmail.com, and I will get it out there. Askdrshonna@gmail.com. I will get it out there. Just let me know what it is so I can share the information with everybody else. I love you guys. Have a blessed night. Subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for all the donations that I received. Oh, let me give y'all the donations. I said I was going to do that. And since I'm not on YouTube tonight, I can do that. I'm going to give y'all the names of the donations, the recent donations I received. Let me go on there and give the shout outs to the people, because they are worthy of that. So I want to give a shout out. Shout it out to Black Mama. Thank you so much for the donation. Anthony Thompson, thank you so much for the donation. William, thank you so much for the donation. Ramona Foxworth, thank you so much for the donation. Victor Gere, thank you so much for the donation. Brenda, thank you so much for the donation. Stephen Miller, thank you so much for the donation. Eric Moore, thank you so much for the donations. Vera, and I forgot Vera's last name. Thank you so much for the Houghton, something like that. Vera, thank you for the donation. And the letter I received, there was a lot of information in there, and I'm going to watch that video you told me to watch. So thank you so much for that. And BQMCC, thank you so much for your donation. And everyone who donated tonight, thank you so much for your donation. So Rich D said you need a Cash App so you get all the money. The Cash App is the donations I just read off, Rich. The Cash App is Dr. Shonna. Everything is Dr. Shonna. My Venmo is Dr. Shonna. My Cash App is Dr. Shonna. My PayPal me is Shonna Etienne, but everything is on there. But the Cash App is where I'm reading from the donation. Then I got Vera donates to me via mail, and I appreciate that. Love you guys. Share the video, subscribe to the channel. As always, any information you want me to receive, go ahead and send it to askdrshonna@gmail.com. I may not respond to everybody because I do get a lot of emails, but I definitely do try my best to respond. And for all my ladies that are signed up for tomorrow's life coaching, relationship coaching class, we went over the 7 strategies to bag yourself a new boo last week. This weekend, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you're in for a treat. So go ahead and register at theiriswomen.com for class tomorrow. And I'll see all my sisters that be in class tomorrow morning. I'll speak to you guys soon. Have a blessed night.